Hello, this is my games beaten in 2024. The first game I beat this year was the Super Mario RPG remake. I'm a huge fan of the original Mario RPG, and this remake was amazing. It was everything a remake should be. Uh, I loved it. It was a great time. And then Yoshi's Story. I beat this on the Nintendo 64 Switch Online. I'm not the biggest Yoshi fan, but I thought this game was pretty cute, and it's surprisingly short. Chrono Cross, I used to say for years this was my favorite game that I have never beaten. I got it in 2004 from Blockbuster, and I finally got around to playing through it. Played it on the PlayStation 3, and I think it is phenomenal. I love everything about the game, honestly. It kind of gets a little lost in the middle, like it's unclear where to go, what to do. But the battle system, the music, the elements system, I think it's all fantastic. Golden Axe, one of those games. If you had a Genesis, you had Golden Axe. I've played this a lot in my life, but never beat it until this year. Last year, I played through it on the Genesis Switch Online. Mario Party 3, I'm a huge Mario Party fan, and I had beaten 1 and 2, so I decided to play 3 to wrap it up. I think 3 and 2 are the peak of the series. Phantasy Star 4, I actually had the physical Genesis cartridge of this in the early 2000s, and this is an amazing game. Like Chrono Cross, I had been trying to beat this for years. Finally got around to it on the Genesis Online. Excellent game. Perfect Dark, another amazing game. I had heard so much about this growing up, and I played through it on Rare Replay. Fantastic. One of the greatest games of all time. Fire Emblem Engage. This is my 2023 game of the year. And I forgot to mention that Chrono Cross is my 2000 game of the year. I got this on release. I had it pre ordered, but I didn't get around to playing through it until 24. I know there's a lot of controversies surrounding this game, but I thought it was amazing. To me, it felt like a throwback to the Game Boy Advance style Fire Emblems. I love the emblem rings. I love that a lot of them are voiced by big name voice actors. Because to me, if you're going to have a character who's supposed to be a big deal in the story, they should be played by someone who's a big deal in real life. I know a lot of people have issues with Aleer, but to me, it makes sense. They're emotionally stunted and they're not going to emote like a fully developed person. And I liked it. I liked everything about this game. It was phenomenal. Tetris Attack, I'm a huge Puzzle League fan, so I'm always looking to play through Puzzle League games that I missed out on. Crisis Core Reunion, my brother had this on the PSP when it was new, and I played it a little bit, but I didn't get around to actually playing through this till the Reunion release. I'm a huge Final Fantasy VII fan. For this game, I like the soundtrack, I like Zack, I like the battle system, I like the materia fusing. I don't really care about Genesis or the G Project. It's obvious that the star of this game is the finale, and especially Cody Christian as Cloud, his wail of despair. It was just amazing. Pong, the next level on Game Boy Color. Um, I don't know. It was just a totally random game. I wanted to play through it. Spider Man on the 2600. I am a huge Spider Man fan, and this seemed simple enough, so I decided to play through it, and it's fun. Snow White on the Seven Dwarves on Game Boy Color. I love the Snow White and the Seven Dwarves movie, and I wanted to see how this would be adapted into a game. It's pretty easy, honestly. That's all I have to say about it. Cinderella on the Game Boy Advance. I also really like Cinderella. Yeah, it's a fun little platformer. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Little Mermaid on the NES. I love Capcom, and I want to see how they did this. And again, pretty simple, straightforward. Wouldn't say a platformer because you're swimming, but action game. Rad Racer, huge game. I kind of have a love hate relationship with racing games. I like outrun style racing games, and this is an outrun style racing game. I also am a huge Square fan, and this is one of their early games. It's pretty fun. I don't care much for the music, but I like the game. Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. I heard about this from Brawl in the Family. Again, I'm a big Capcom fan. I love how they adapt and interpret the properties they're licensed to. It's pretty fun. Um, the big ripoff is you don't get to see the parade. And the whole point of the game is you're supposed to get the keys to unlock the gate so the parade can go through. But they don't even show you the parade. RC Pro Am, another huge NES game. It's pretty fun. I played through it on Rare Replay, and I think the victory fanfare is amazing. Tetris Attack on Super Nintendo. I actually had the physical cartridge of this, and I could not remember if I had ever beaten it, so I decided to just go through it. Mixed Up Mother Goose, a PC classic, if you ask me, by the great Roberta Williams. I played this extensively as a kid, and I don't think I ever beat it, so I decided to remedy that. Alan Wake, another huge game. You might be seeing a theme this year. This is a game that my brother got for Christmas with his 360 in 2013, I think. I had heard a lot about this. Obviously, with Alan Wake 2 releasing, there's a lot of buzz, a lot of interest about the series. And I'm a big um, Resident Evil fan, and I decided to check this out. This is a really well done game, story wise, acting wise. The gameplay is pretty simple with the combat and the puzzle solving, but it's still worth a playthrough. It is very interesting what is done with the story, and I greatly appreciate it. And also, I played Max Payne last year, I believe, and I want to see Remedy's other projects because I really liked Max Payne. Soul Calibur, again, massive game, huge game. I bought a Dreamcast just to play Soul Calibur because they took it off of the Xbox store, and it's amazing. I love Soul Calibur 2. I love Soul Calibur 3. Soul Calibur 1, amazing. To me, all three of those games are top tier. I play Keelik, I play Siegfried. This is like one of the greatest games of all time, one of the best launch games of all time, best fighting game of all time. You have to play Soul Calibur. Warlords on the 2600 is a lot of fun. Great four-player game. Um, the 2600 has a ton of amazing games that I think a lot of people sleep on just because they're old. So I like Warlords. Final Fantasy 3 Pixel Remaster. Before this, I had beaten Final Fantasies 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, and 13. And I played through the Pixel remasters of 4, 5, and 6 over 23 and 22. So I'm like, I gotta beat the 3 Pixel remaster. And again, my brother had this on the DS, the remake. I could never get into that, but I decided to just go ahead and play through this. I don't really care for it. I don't know. It just there's there's not really a plot. It's just like go to this dungeon and then this thing happened and go to this dungeon and now this thing happened and I don't know. It doesn't really suck me in like other Final Fantasies do. Sesame Street Countdown. This is a bit of a weird game, but this was a game that made the rounds in my friend group when I was a kid. I would go over to someone's house, and if they had an NES, they were most likely renting this. And so I decided to just play through it just to see if it had an ending. And it's a great game for little kids, but I still found some enjoyment in it. Sonic Superstars, I got this for Christmas, I believe. It is fun. I think the multiplayer is terrible. the music the music's all right. It has a few pieces that you listen to them a while and they're good. The final boss is insane and is like the hardest final boss in Sonic history, I swear. And for that, I got burnt out. I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything after that. But I enjoyed it. I would probably, if I had the choice, I'd probably play this over Sonic One. but I don't know if this is going to have much of a legacy. Super R type. I've never beaten an R type game before, and this got added to the Switch Online, so I was like, I'll give it a go. I'll try out R type.